I'm about to show you some documents from a FOIA request straight from the government on the research that was going on in 2018 on coronaviruses and what they were trying to do with bats using $40 million. I'll give you a quick preview first, and then I'll show you the documents, and you can make your own conclusion, but I have to say, this is some crazy freaking stuff on COVID. What if I told you that some virologists and researchers thought, hey, maybe the US will go deploy in forests and caves around China one day in war, and we need to protect those scientists from bats, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up bat vaccine spraying machines that'll squirt vaccine molecules into the air and protect bats from having coronaviruses, because some little bits of naturally occurring coronaviruses, which, keep in mind, the common cold is also a coronavirus, happen to spill over to a human population. And in order to study this, we need at least $40 million to get started on doing this. And we're going to work with Wuhan on doing it. And we're going to use less strict biosafety standards because it'll be cheaper. Yeah. That would sound wild, right? Let's just look at some of these FOIA requested documents and see if that potential preview has any semblance in at least what some of these FOIA requested documents are suggesting. I'm just gonna say some of this is a little wild, okay? Deploy automated technology or delivery technology that we will develop in caves that harbor bats carrying these viruses. Yes, that is part of the scope of the project, because after all, do we have technology like this today, and does it work? No, we don't have technology like this, but it's important because, after all, there is a clear and present danger to our military personnel, not currently deployed there, but maybe in the future might be there, and therefore we must study to protect global health, because, after all, directed evolution and screwing around with coronaviruses will help protect us. No chance of hurting us. This is eerie reading some of this. Anyway, so their goal in this project is to reduce the risk of viral shedding from bats. Kind of like, hey, look, bats float around and they pee and poo and they spread viruses, and that's not good. And there's evidence that if you look at the surrounding populations of people who live near these bat caves in China, of the people that we sampled, we could see some people have COVID antibodies in their system. Notice they're or maybe not, I shouldn't say COVID, because that's, SARS-CoV-2, right? But they have coronavirus antibodies in their body, suggesting that maybe the bats are the reason for this. Nothing else. It's the bats. The bats must be causing this. Therefore, we want to inoculate all the bats by finding concentrated populations of bat caves. I'm just gonna read it to you now. I'll stop with a summary, but this is just crazy to me. SARS-CoV are diverse, with recombinants regularly identified in the field and lab. Okay, so they're normal, they're around. Okay, got it. Furthermore, we have identified SARS-like strains in a single cave in Yunnan that harbor every gene found in the human SARS coronavirus strains detected during the 2002 to 2003 epidemic. Within this bat population, an ideal evolutionary soup exists that could produce new human strains by high-frequency RNA recombination. So in other words, there is a soup that if we, adrenaline shot accelerate, we might be able to create some new human coronaviruses. And this is not scary. This is instead a perfect target for 21st generation intervention strategies. Yes, so we should screw around with the coronaviruses because it'll take way too long for that to happen naturally. Instead, we should accelerate the process ourselves so we can protect everybody from the problem we caused. Wait, sorry, I said no more summaries, but wait a minute. That's literally what they said here. Gene drives would likely take many decades to run through a population, so that proof of concept of transmission blocking in DARPA timescale wouldn't be possible. In other words, if we just let this happen naturally, it might never happen, and so then we wouldn't be able to practice our, intervention strategies of spraying COVID vaccinations or coronavirus vaccinations into the air for bats. Oh, but I still haven't gotten to that part. Sorry. Here we go. Okay, so what do we have? Oh, by the way, we're going to need an app, okay? So we're going to need to produce an app, a prototype app for the, quote, warfighter. So like if you're a Navy SEAL or whatever, you're going to deploy to China, you're going to make sure you download on the Google, goddamn, on the Android or Apple App Store, the High Risk Bats Near Me app. So that way you could evaluate the likelihood of bats harboring dangerous viral pathogens near you based on the analysis that this project is going to help provide, as long as they're funded with many millions of dollars. And we're going to partner with the Wuhan Institute of Virology to conduct testing on the samples of all the bat species in caves as sort of part of this inventory that we're working through. Okay, all right, okay. Because remember, fecal, blood, and other things, that's how bats spread their diseases that apparently don't actually really often naturally occur. And we're going to accelerate that now. Okay, all right, got it. So what else do we have in here? Oh, yeah, here we go. The BSL-2 nature of work on SARS coronaviruses. Listen to this. Makes our system highly cost-effective relative to other bat virus systems. Okay, so to understand this, you need to know what BSL levels are. So I think the easiest thing to do here is just show you what these are. We could just literally Google this really quickly here. By the way, if after reading this you're like disgusted and you need life insurance, just quickly go to metkevin.com/life. They're a paid partner of the channel, and then you can get yourself life insurance really quickly. But anyway, BSL level 1, controlled access, hand washing stations, got it, okay? Then we go to level 2, which is hand washing, physical containment devices. Like this is what you're gonna look like in BSL 2, okay? Basically, you got yourself some gloves on here. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, and then you've got the little ventilated hood over here. Got it. BSL level 3, you need to be airtight. So you're gonna have a little hoodie on here when you're working in this little containment chamber. And then number 4, you're gonna go all like crazy mode here, okay? So as you can see, it is way more cost effective not to use this or this. Instead, we'll just go with this, because it's just coronavirus after all, and quite frankly, our system is highly cost effective relative to other bat systems. This is, okay. Anyway, there's some notes here about basically how they're trying to introduce different doctors, and hey, this professor, this doctor, whomever, they've got experience in working with spike proteins, and they're fighting over salaries and fighting over how much people were supposed to get paid. Here's one edit where they're like, okay, maybe we should go with BSL level 3. There was literally a comment on one of the pages that people in America will freak out if they hear we use BSL 2 instead of 3. The reality is they should have probably been at 4 anyway all along. But remember, cost, my friends. Got to make that app. Here is a picture of their sort of model of the concept. And the part that I hadn't shown you yet is this part right here. All right, boys. The system's set up. Push the button. Deploy the vax. This is scary. This is scary. They even go in at here as far as saying that in their work in China, they've shown that the spillover into local populations is frequent from coronaviruses spilling over to people and people having antibodies. Notice how they don't talk about people dropping dead from that spillover. This could literally be like, oh no, they got a cold. Okay. Then, yeah, they're going to make the mobile application, and here you go. Okay, this is the fancy way to describe it. We are going to inoculate the bats with immune modulators to upregulate innate immune response and downregulate viral replication, transiently reducing the risk of viral shedding and spillover. Again, using a machine to just blow into the air the vaccine. And for this, we're going to need $40 million over 3.5 years. And, this is probably somewhere around $14.8 million per team that we can get. This is where you can see a little bit about the clear and persistent danger of a new SARS-like pandemic, just because people within 6 kilometers of these bats have an indication of having coronavirus antibodies. Again, no talk about people dying since 2002 or 2003. Just talk that, oh no, these bats have coronaviruses. It's going to take decades for them to replicate something on their own. Let's accelerate how quickly they can actually develop something on their own. and then we can inoculate them. There are literally debates here about restricting salaries and negotiating different amounts, like certain budgets. I mean, this is a 1,400-page document. I'll link it at ehack.com, so just go to ehack.com, you'll see it there. But this is pretty wild, because you could go through all these 1,400 pages, and it's just crazy. I mean, they even go as far as this. Like, here's one agency person from the USGS who writes, I would probably have to put a subcontract out for bid. And this is basically a way of saying, like, hey, we got your bid, but, you know, this is a large number, so we're going to have other companies bid on it, you know, to make sure we're getting a good deal. But, quote, this is their quote, I suppose we can worry about all that and shift the budget around if we get funding. Bro, this is literally, like, is this what our government does? This is embarrassing. It's like debating over animal care and rabies protection. And I get it. We want rabies protection and rabies care and all these things. And somebody's got to pay for the bats. See, we need up to 60 bats for 120 days at $12,600. And all these things are outlined in that link. It's pretty wild. But look at this. Here's that. In collaboration with Dr. Jerome Unidad of Palo Alto Research Center, we will explore the use of an innovative aerosol technology that could be used in cave settings in the form of a field deployable spray device triggered by timers and movement detectors at critical cave entry points. Bro, this is crazy. This is by far one of the most bizarre document sets I think I have read on COVID. Here's another one about bad experiments are quite costly because they require us trapping them and hand feeding them on a daily basis. Also full personal protective equipment, because they potentially carry rabies. The person literally asking for money on this project literally goes as far as saying, we had an outbreak in our facility last year. You can't make this crap up. Okay, so where is this from? Because this is wild. I want to be clear. I got this from a FOIA request that a particular scientist had written a blog piece about. I will link that down below. It's through the website US Right to Know, Pursuing Truth and Transparency for Public Health, blah, 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 blah. And Emily Kopp did a piece on this. She links the actual FOIA documents. I didn't read much of her piece because I just wanted to go to the documents, so I mostly just read the documents. That was, and this is me, like, I didn't read every single word of the 1,400 pages, and these are the words that I found, and I'm like, what the hell is going on out there? This is crazy. So anyway, paid promotion, get yourself life insurance in as little as 5 minutes. Learn about building wealth at meetkevin.com. I've got courses that can help you become a multimillionaire in real estate and build your wealth the real way. And I'll keep sharing perspective here. If you want that for free, subscribe. Thanks so much, and stay away from the bats or the virologist. I'm not sure which one's worse.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.
Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is neither personalized financial advice nor real estate advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show should not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purpose of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services which we may benefit from. I personally operate an actively managed ETF and hold long positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuers other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker. Stay away from the bats or the virologist. I'm not sure which one's worse.